Hey, and welcome to the Dangerous Creatives podcast. If you're growing your photography or creative business, you're in the right place. Each week, we deliver a workshop-style solo show, expert interview, or motivating story from our community so you can tune in to find encouragement, motivation, and ideas to help the right people find you and your amazing work. I'm your host, Kristin Sweeting. I'm a photographer and coach, and my favorite thing is helping dangerous creatives just like you stand out in a world that just wants us to blend in. I'm glad you're here. Let's dive in. Hey everyone, hope you're having a good summer and that things are just rolling into the fall for you, that you're booking and feeling good about your businesses, or maybe that you got some time off. I usually try to take a sabbatical in July, and I kind of did like a half sabbatical this year. I was still working, but I didn't have any weddings booked, and we didn't do our coaching programs for the month, and got to really enjoy going to the pool, celebrating Hudson's birthday, and doing some other personal goals that we had. So hope you're feeling that way too. And I always love kind of the heading back into the back to school year. We start a lot of our programs back up or offer different things with our coaching membership, because there's just this fresh energy around back to school, like sharpened pencils, new backpacks. Like let's lean into what we're doing well and take that even further. I love this time of year for business owners. And so today's episode is actually a replay of one of our memberships coaching calls. So, the Dangerous Creatives membership is a business coaching membership. We talk about everything from pricing to sales calls to psychology to mindset to marketing. We have so many different calls. Each month we have a different one where not only are you getting live information, but you're also getting coached live. So me and my team, we lead those calls, and we get to actually answer questions and coach around what is going on in your business. And each one has a different theme. So the one you're hearing today is a visibility and mindset call that we did a few months ago. You're just hearing some parts of it, not all of the conversation that we had around it, but some parts of just getting out there and being visible and putting yourself out there in a different way, and really how it's making such a difference with younger generations, especially Gen Z, that authenticity and being in front of the camera. And a lot of the things that we think of as scary or cringy, we're having to learn how to do them in our business and to be courageous in a different way as we're trying to book, whether it's weddings or new clients that might be in a different generation than us, or just the social media landscape has changed a lot. So we talk about that in this call. And so you're going to get to hear a part of it, and hopefully you feel encouraged. And if you want to join the Dangerous Creatives membership, it's still on sale for a few more weeks for our summer sale. You can jump in right now, and not only will you get the access to all the live monthly calls, but you also get our challenge flows that are pre-recorded. So one popular one is the Money Magic Flow. It takes you through pricing and what to do if you're like, Kristin, I need money now. Money Magic Flow is great for that. It's managing money and making money. And then the Get More Inquiries challenge flow, that one is really popular too. We've had people say that just that challenge alone has helped their business so much. So make sure you jump in. We even have an app so you can access all the calls and all of the challenges on your phone. So it's really easy to log in, do one of the flows to help with one of the things that you're struggling with or that you're wanting to grow in. And there's just a cool community inside the group too. So hope you love today's call, and we can't wait to hear what's been going on with you this summer too. You know that I love in-person marketing and networking, and I think that that's usually the most valuable stuff you can do. And I think if you're shifting that direction, just think of Instagram as how can that be the overflow of the in-person stuff? So you're still making connections and then staying in touch with them on Instagram and building relationships there. No one wants to come to your Instagram and it looks like you haven't posted in 6 months, because then they assume that you're out of business or something, So kind of that balance. I think the core part of marketing always stays the same because it's still people. We're still talking to people and people essentially all have the same needs, like, but I do think like how we consume things is going to change and what we're like craving is changing. So yeah, we're going to talk about some of that today too. And it's interesting. Do y'all remember the blog explosion in like 2008 or whatever, where people were blogging? It was kind of the beginning of influencer culture. It was these blogs, and then it all kind of moved over to Instagram, and now it's cool. It's kind of coming back, and I think we've hit like a peak burnout of media consumption. And so people are looking for like, and I'm feeling this in myself too, but I'm seeing it out there too. People are looking for a small group of influencers that they like to follow. And we're content creators. We're also photographers and planners and things like that, but we also have influence. We're also creating these little communities. And so I think people are kind of narrowing who they're listening to and want to dig deeper. They see your pretty photo, and I don't really care if it's ChatGPT or not in the comment, but I think it needs a part two where the people that are intrigued can come in and get to know you at a deeper level in something longer form. A lot of times the trick is finding the right venue. I've seen people who are like, I cannot talk to video. The other day I was sitting down trying to video myself talking to the camera, and I was like, I have the biggest block here. Like, it is not working. It doesn't feel right, And then I go and I write something and it totally flows. So sometimes it's just finding the right venue. Could a Facebook group where you're chatting with people and you're building community be really helpful? Or it's just bringing a friend with you when you do a styled shoot or you have a model and being like, get behind the scenes stuff, and we're just going to do that. I made a conscious choice years ago where I was like, I'm going to start doing education. I want to start having workshops. I need to be more visible. And I hired a friend of mine who was trying to get into marketing, and he didn't know what he was doing either, but like we just did it together, and at the time it was really fun because he was like, I'm going to come over to your house and I'm just gonna make you record videos. They're gonna feel cringy. They're gonna feel weird. We're just gonna do it. People have to see your face if you're gonna be coaching or if you're gonna be offering a workshop. Like, people won't go on them if they don't see you. And so he just videoed me and was like, okay, now talk about this. Or, okay, you had this idea, let's do this. And having that person that was like, get over yourself, Kristin. We're going to make this cringy video and it's going to be fine, It really was helpful. I do think part of this and part of the self journey for us is doing things that are uncomfortable. Like, all of entrepreneurship is a practice in being uncomfortable, where we have to learn how to do sales, we have to learn how to promote ourselves, we have to learn how to ask for money. None of those things were comfortable to you when you started, most likely. And so this is just kind of another piece of that. But I do think if you're finding like constant resistance with one form, see if there's a lower hanging fruit. See if it feels better to do a blog, or see if it feels better to have someone interviewing you. Like, have your friend ask you questions so you get to respond to the questions instead of just being like, today I'm going to talk to you guys about this, which can feel so weird, right? Okay. I asked ChatGPT this. I said, is Gen Z hiring based on vibes? Because I think this is what we're doing now, is like hiring based on vibes. And it's not necessarily shallow either. It's not just like, oh, I liked their energy. I think Gen Z is even more values driven. Like, millennials are already values driven. Gen Z is values driven. Gen Z cares about authenticity. So all these things that we're talking about are so important as like a younger generation is coming up and is watching us on the internet, because this is how they're hiring, and even more so than I think what previous generations have done. Although, I've been preaching these things for a long time. I think they apply to everybody. It's even more important now with this generation. So this talks about visibility and mindset. One of the things to kind of ask that I think Gen Z is asking, I think people are asking when they're hiring, is, are you my kind of person? Do y'all do this when you're making decisions too? Like, you want to get the feel for someone. Are you my kind of person? Authenticity and building trust or consistency is key. And I think that's why visibility is important, because people are trying to see like, okay, is it more than just pretty photos? Am I going to get there and we're not going to be able to have a conversation because we don't align on anything. I care really deeply about social justice or about the environment or whatever. Does this person at least share some kind of that value? Dangerous Creatives has been talking about being values aligned this whole time, but I've even saw a statistic that like 80%, 90% of Gen Z is hiring their wedding vendors, their photographers, etc. Like values being important and not hiring someone that was obviously not values aligned. So are you my kind of person? What do y'all think about this one? Like, does this put a little fire in you to be a little bit more out there? There's a bunch of different ways to be visible and to show up for your community. And a lot of it includes being open and serving your community. And it doesn't have to mean that you like have the Ray-Bans with the video camera and the drone hovering above you while you're doing all these things. You know, everybody works a little differently. And so if you were really brave, finding someone who doesn't know you to go through your website and your Instagram, like a neutral third party, and be like, what do you see from this? I do want to see the face of someone I'm hiring. And I scroll through people's Instagrams. I'm like, I have no idea what this person looks like. Like I can't even get a vibe, like a read from them, you know? So you could do that. You could have ChatGPT look through it. Sometimes I'll have, I don't use ChatGPT for everything, but sometimes I'll be like, hey, I just worked with this amazing client. Here's some more stuff about them. What do I need to tweak to my brand strategy to include them? You know, and they'll be like, add this, or like, hey, this is what your voice is like, or whatever. Would you have someone look through your stuff and just point out any kind of like inconsistencies? How can we take action on this one? Here's the second part, the energy. Are you letting people see your energy in your marketing? So ways you can do this, storytelling, talking to the camera, using your voice. I want to just give some like ideas if you feel stuck. So like you can do the talking to a camera where you kind of write out a script and you tell a story or you relate a story back to something you're sharing. We did a whole storytelling talk last year in this membership, but just like a way to blend stories into what you're doing. Talking to the camera, using your voice, doing a voiceover over B-roll of you shooting or of you working, having some B-roll and you talking over it and like what was important to that couple, what was important to you. And then you can start kind of showcasing pieces of people's values so that it's attracting more people with that kind of like intentionality or value too. Rate yourself right now. Go pull up your own Instagram or your own website and say out loud, am I letting people see my energy in my marketing? Visuals. So visuals being more about driving emotion. Are your visuals telling a story or showing the inspirational version of who they want to be? Tell me the inspirational or aspirational version of your client. Do you have a read on that based on people you've worked with? Are they coming to you to feel more confident? Are they coming to you to feel more peaceful? What's an aspect of what your client is aspiring to be? More successful, more present. If you had to sum it up in like one or two words. When you're saying these kind of elevator pitches, I would think like if you're living in the body of your client, so like yours wants to experience their wedding weekend without stress and have their friends and family feel like taken care of and for everyone to have this special stress-free moment or whatever. So kind of their experience of it too, not just what they want y'all to do, you know? Like
Yeah.
I want to be I want to be the opposite of a bridezilla, you know? Zen bride. Okay. Aspirational. One exercise might be for you to go through some of your reviews and see if there's any words that pop out at you that you hadn't remembered. What parts of you do they aspire to be? So how are you the aspirational version of what they want to be? Mine, when I did this, I went through all my reviews and everyone said calm. And I was like, oh, I don't feel calm, but yes, I am. And so that I think is the aspirational version. Like people want to feel calm and like they were really calm through the whole process. How are you the aspirational version of what your clients want to be? My coaching one is people are like, I want to be inspired, you know? And so people come in and they leave with extra magic dust, right? Okay, this is one I want to dig in for a second. Where is your fear showing up? So Just think about it for a second. Identify your worst case scenario. If you show up online, what is the worst case scenario? Like, take a second to write it down. I think mine for sure has been that my peers would think I'm cringy. And then I'm like, that's what's holding me back. It's not even the people hiring me. It's like some friend of mine that's not even my friend didn't like that video. That's my worst case scenario. I don't think we're always going to feel comfy. Like, even though my writing gets more traction, I still record videos of myself and put them out there. And this was really helpful for me is like, am I creating content to go viral and have a million followers? Because that would be one strategy is like, I'm going to get as many followers as I can. A percentage of those will convert to clients. And so I'm going to do all the tricks and like the video and all the things that like trick your brain into watching more and more and more videos. Like I'm going to do all the dopamine hacks. That could be one way that you went, or you could be like, my goal with my social media is to build a relationship with the people that I meet out in the wild, and then I'm gonna like keep talking to them on social media. And so if 50 people watch my video, great. That's 50 people that I'm getting to know better, that are getting to know me better and maybe work with me. A lot of times we're the one getting in our own way. I asked ChatGPT, I'm like, what would I be doing if I wasn't slowing myself down? People are talking about us if we aren't doing it. People are talking about us if they are doing it. And then the actual truth is that like people really are talking about us less than we think they are, and thinking about us way less than we think they are. So it's like we all got haters. Someone's annoyed by us. Most of the time, people are so worried about themselves that they're not even given any percentage of their attention to us. And that's usually the bigger hurdle we need to get over. So this is just a personal story. I've spent a lot of time being like, I don't want to be obnoxious. I don't want people to be annoyed by me. I don't want my peers to judge me. And so I'm just gonna like chill here or whatever. And the whole time, the bigger problem was that no one knew who I was. No one was seeing my stuff. No one was actually thinking about me. And I'm solving for this other problem that's not really existing. And really, the problem I need to be solving for is people don't know who they am and don't know what I'm doing. And I should just be talking about that? So, anyway, don't solve for the wrong problem. Okay, who was the monster to your visibility in the past or the monster to your creativity? Is there someone that said something negative when you started your Instagram or when you started your business? And then this is what my husband asks me all the time, but what if it does work out? Okay, so think about that monster of your visibility question. Maybe write it down. Be like, who is someone that said that? And then y'all are going to do this on Instagram. Get around people doing it. It's so much easier to do it when it's normal in your community. This is the same with money. It's the same with running a business. Like if you're around a bunch of people who are not saving or not investing or not thinking wisely about their money, it's going to be really hard to do it. And if you're in a community of people who are like, how can I make more money next month? It's going to be so much easier to do it. So make it normal in your community. You can start a text thread of like, I just kind of went out on a log on this video. Could use some love on it. I just feeling insecure. Find an accountability partner. Fill your feed with people who are doing the style of visibility you want to do. So it just doesn't feel like so abnormal to be doing it yourself. That's super powerful. And I was going to go through these affirmations because in the membership, there's some visualizations and affirmations. These are just parts of the visibility one. Being myself is the fastest way to attract in the clients I love to work with. I think that one's so important. The people that you love to work with are going to be attracted to the stuff that you're excited to make. And so, like, who cares if this other gal out here doesn't like it? She's probably not who you wanted to work with anyways. When I speak about things I'm passionate about, my dream collaborators can find me. Taking my own unique path opens doors for me. Authenticity and boldness protect me from working with people who dim my energy or disregard my boundaries. And I have so much fun working with my ideal clients, and they're so happy with the work that I create. If you ever just listen to the affirmations or meditate or trying to get through this block, I think that can be a really powerful thing to listen to when you wake up or before you have a day where you're trying to be really visible, is just remind yourself and like get it into the subconscious part of your brain that like this is actually getting you to the things that you want to be doing. Okay, well, guys, thanks for being on today. I'm excited to hear what your deeper thing is going to be. So just pick one, pick what that's going to be for y'all. Put more energy there if you've been really heavy on the Instagram. And then just think of like, what's one way I can show energy? I can connect with people, get over my fear of feeling like everything has to be perfect. And then because the more we talk about it, the easier it gets, right? So like share the stuff that you're posting or what you're doing, what you set up after this. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for listening to today's episode of the Dangerous Creatives podcast. Check out dangerschool.com to join our community and support the show. Thanks to our team, Jen Madigan Creative, for producing, and to Fire Choir for our intro music. Tune in again next time, and thanks for your support.